In most computer programming languages, a do-while loop is a control flow statement that executes a block of code at least once, and then repeatedly executes the block, or not, depending on a given Boolean condition at the end of the block. Note though that unlike most languages, Fortran's do loop is actually the same as the for loop. The do-while construct consists of a process symbol and a condition. First, the code within the block is executed, and then the condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, the code within the block is executed again. This repeats until the condition becomes false. Because do-while loops check the condition after the block is executed, the control structure is often also known as a post-test loop. Contrast with the while loop, which tests the condition before the code within the block is executed, the do-while loop is an exit condition loop. This means that the code must always be executed first and then the expression or test condition is evaluated. If it is true, the code executes the body of the loop again. This process is repeated as long as the expression evaluates to true. If the expression is false, the loop terminates and control transfers to the statement following the do-while loop. It is possible, and in some cases desirable, for the condition to always evaluate to true, creating an infinite loop. When such a loop is created intentionally, there is usually another control structure that allows termination of the loop. Some languages may use a different naming convention for this type of loop. For example, the Pascal language has a repeat until loop, which continues to run until the control expression is true, whereas a while loop runs while the control expression is true. Equivalent constructs is equivalent to. In this manner, the do-while loop saves the initial loop priming with do work on the line before the while loop. As long as the continue statement is not used, the above is technically equivalent to the following. Or, demonstrating do-while loops, these example programs calculate the factorial of 5 using their respective languages' syntax for a do-while loop. Action script 3 ada basic early basics use the syntax while wend. Modern basics such as Power Basic provide both while wend and do loop structures, with syntax such as do while loop, do until loop, do loop while, do loop until, and do loop. Typical basic source code. C equals C++ CFSCRIPT D Fortran with legacy Fortran 77 there is no do-while construct, but the same effect can be achieved with GOTO. With Fortran 90 and later, we used the equivalent construct mentioned above. Java JavaScript PHP PLI the place I do statement subsumes the functions of the post-test loop, the pre-test loop, and the for loop. All functions can be included in a single statement. The example shows only the do until syntax. Python lacks a specific do-while flow control construct. However, the equivalent may be constructed out of a while loop with a break. In Racket, as in other scheme implementations, a named let is a popular way to implement loops. Compare this with the first example of the while loop example for Racket. Ruby Smalltalk Swift Swift 2x Swift 1x Visual Basic.net See also, control flow, for loop, for each, while loop, repeat loop. References, C++ do-while loop. Mozilla Developer Network documentation, the do-while loop in JavaScript. Do-while, official PHP documentation.